So for today's lesson, I wanted to do something a little bit different, and I mean, it's still reading, and some of you aren't going to think it's fun, but I think it's kind of fun. Project-ish, using your novel. So yesterday, you were to come up with your character, and I used Scrooge as my example, of how he was at the beginning, what his conflict was, how my character changed, and how that then leads you to be able to come up with a theme. So a lot of you are still struggling finding the theme of something, and I gave you that list, right? And you had a paper, and I had to take a picture of it, and on the front were different themes, on the back were different themes, so that you have an idea of what themes are. But to identify the theme, the author uses the characters in a story to present to you, the reader, what the theme is, oftentimes. So knowing about the characters, analyzing the characters, is something that good readers do automatically and subconsciously. So it's something that we need to practice to make it a habit. All right? Analyzing a character and the character's actions and what the character says is going to help you figure out what the theme is. Because after all, how else is the author supposed to present the theme if he doesn't use the characters to do so, right? He uses the characters' actions, how they react to things, what they say in certain situations or to certain people, or how they treat certain people. So today, you're going to use that same character you chose yesterday. So I chose Scrooge yesterday, so that's what I would choose today. So whatever character you chose yesterday, if you didn't do yesterday's assignment, you need to choose a character, do today and yesterday's assignment, okay? So once you have that character, you are going to create an Instagram account for that character based off of the character's personality, actions, and things like that. So I have some very specific things that you are going to do. So first question, how many of you are familiar with Instagram? Okay, right? Instagram is becoming a little bit more popular. Mr. Jones and I actually have an Instagram account. I need to do better at updating it to like stay connected with former students. Because Mr. Jones and I have taught together for so long, so I created an Instagram account for the two of us so that we can keep up to date with former students who are in college now or whatever. So once you guys leave 6th grade, you can follow us on Instagram. We would love to see like how you guys are doing. Or yeah, some of you are following us already. Like I said, I'm not doing a very good job, but I've been busy lately. So anyways, so Instagram is something that people create, and a lot of times it shows your personality based on the things you put. So for example, Reagan, my daughter, I use her as an example because her interests are gymnastics, and she does some modeling, things like that. Her Instagram account is pretty much based around those things because that's her personality. I don't post a lot on Instagram because I don't like pictures of myself. So I usually post pictures of Reagan because she's important to me, or I'll post pictures of her routines, or maybe quotes or things like that I find usually to do with teaching or books because those are my interests. So people's Instagram accounts are reflections of their personality. So you need to put yourself into the shoes of your character, whoever that character is. Put yourself in their shoes, and you are going to create an Instagram account, a fake one, of what you believe that person's account will look like. So I have a couple resources for you to do this to make it a little bit easier. So the first thing I'm going to show you, and I need to pull it up really quickly, is kind of an instruction page. So this template is going to show you the instructions on how to change and to do certain things on Instagram. So it's within Google Slides, and you have a link to this, so you don't have to worry about if you can see or not. I'm just going to expose you to it really quickly. I will show you where all the links are. So you'll have a link to this. So this tells you, like, here is a text box to change the username. Here, you can even change, like, the strength signal, the time, and the battery if you want. You don't have to, but you can. Here, you need to put a biopic, right? So it can either be a picture based on what you think your character looks like, based off descriptions in the book. It can be a picture of, so somebody's doing Westing game and we were talking about Turtle Wexler. She could put a picture of a turtle for her biopic, right? I mean, it just kind of is up to you. So remember, your biopic here is the same pic that goes down here in the little dot, because this is where you change your profile if you want, or it takes you to your profile. So these two would be the same on every single page, because your biopic and then this pic, it's kind of the same. So those you have to do. Choose a username that describes your character. So you can have an easy, obvious username, like I could do turtle_Wexler, or I could do something creative. She always, let's say, wears her hair in braids. So I could do like 2 braids and more or something. I don't know, right? So you can be creative with that username, or you can be very obvious. It's up to you. You can change the number of followers and posts and all of that, or you can leave it. The main thing is to change that username, to put in a bio. So just a little bit of information about your character, not a lot. Instagram bios are usually a couple sentences, not too much, right? So put a couple sentences here for the bio, followed by friend, friend, and friend. So you need to make up friends that would be following your characters, so other characters from the book. Make up Instagram usernames of other characters from the book, okay? I will tell you what pictures you need to put on each slide. I'm going to get to that when I show you the next group here in a second. So here then is the caption. So you're going to put your username and then the caption, right? So you're going to explain the picture a little bit, and then you put your hashtag. So hashtag Sam Westing, or hashtag living my best life, or whatever goes along with your picture. Okay, you guys all know how hashtags work, so that should not be something new, all right? So these slides just tell you a little bit about how to change things. It will say click on, but you guys can't click, it's iPads, so you'll just double tap, same sort of thing. But this just tells you that how to change those things for those of you that need that extra help because you're not used to using Google Slides or you don't know. And then there's another slide too that gets into how to change those things as well. So that's what this first link is. It says Insta template with instructions. It's just instructions on how to change the things that you need to change. All right, so you don't have to do anything with that slide. It's just instructions. It's just how to. So once you get that, you will be making a copy of, let me go back, sorry. This right here, this is what you will be changing. This is the slides that you will be making a copy of. And then here's where I tell you what needs to go on each slide. So you, again, will change whatever you want on here, right? Put the profile picture, the username, the bio, all of the things we just talked about. But on here, this big square, you need to include a scene from the story that shows the personality of the character. So pick a scene, something that happens in the story that shows what the character is like. You can either find a Google image that represents that scene. You can draw something in sketches or in paint or on paper and take a picture and insert it. You can, whatever you want to do, okay? So you are going to insert the picture right here of a scene from your story. Then you down here on the caption is where you're going to kind of explain what that scene is. Not a lot, but just a nice little caption, right? A couple sentences, add a couple hashtags, whatever you need to do. So that's what will go on this slide, is a scene from the story that represents the personality of that character. This is all, that template is already there for you. So you don't have to do anything. The next one, you need to include something the character said in the novel to show their personality. So you can put a quote and make it look really pretty. You can put a picture that represents that quote and then put the quote down here in the comments. It's kind of up to you on how creative you want it to be. The next one, you need to include something to do with their personality traits. So if they're calm, you can put a picture of the ocean and put, I love being calm and peaceful. Or if they're crazy, you could put a picture of, something that they did, something crazy they did, and then caption that. This needs to be something to do with their personality. This one needs to be a mention of family, friends, or the antagonist from the novel. So mention another character. So whether that's a picture of that other character, a picture of the person you chose with other characters, a picture of a scene with other characters that represents that, and then again, explain what it is in the caption. Remember, protagonist is the main character that's the good guy, antagonist is the main character that's kind of the bad guy. So those are what you have to do as far as pictures. You have to do those 4 slides. If you want to do extra slides, I will give you up to 10 points extra credit. So to do extra slides, you just go to slide and then duplicate slide, and it'll duplicate the blank one. You don't have to do extra slides, but you can for extra credit, up to 2 points. So I will probably give you 2 points of extra credit per slide as long as they're done well. So up to 5 extra ones. You also have 1 comments page. So you're going to insert this. So you can move this, right? You can move it wherever you need to, up here. Move it to whatever slide you want to behind that. These would be comments that people would comment on that slide. So think about what other characters might say about your character or about what your character posted. Good or bad, as long as it's appropriate. Okay? So again, if you want to do any extra ones of these, that would be 2 points as well. So if you want to do like 2 extra of these slides and then 2 extra of these, it doesn't matter. So this slideshow is what you will make a copy of, to where you are then going to fill in all of the pictures and the information from your character. So I have an example for you guys to see kind of what it should look like, but I have to get it from my canvas really quickly. So let me log out as Mr. Jones really quickly.
Totally not someone mom. It's okay, it's happened to me before at church.
All right, so as you go to reading, you'll go to modules, as usual, right? You'll choose your book. So go ahead and you'll choose your story. I'm going to use Al Capone because it's the first one. I'm going to choose February 18th. And then here are that slide that had all like the how-to directions, is slide with directions. This is the blank template, the one I just got done showing you, that's going to tell you what to do on each slide that you'll fill out. And then here's an example project. So if I'm looking at this example project, I can see how they changed this, right? So they did theirs on nonfiction books. So this person did Abraham Lincoln. So they changed their name to Honest Abe because that kind of represents the character. Here they put interesting information. So instead of the number of followers and things like that, they put 16, which is the president's number, 4 years, number of years in office, and then here is the inauguration date. You guys are doing fictional characters, so you don't have to do that, but that's just what they did to be even more creative. And then they put a picture here of Abraham Lincoln. Here's his profile. Here's his bio information. Okay? Then followed by M.T. Lincoln, so that's probably Martha, maybe or I don't know, maybe his wife or somebody. I don't know what her name was actually. Here is Hannibal Hamlin and A. Johnson 65. So these are probably people that were like his vice president or important at the time with him. Down here, Honest Abe, he gives a quick little profile. I was born to a poor farming family in Kentucky, blah, 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 blah. And then his hashtags, sorry, that thing keeps coming up. The hashtag is like hashtag farm life, hashtag pioneers. Because those hashtags go along with what he captioned. His caption goes along with his picture. So same thing. Honest Abe, so this is just his regular post, right? You only need to put your bio on the first one. And then now his regular post, it's a picture of the family. And so, here is kind of that information. So here is one, President of the United States, one, POTUS, one. So that is George Washington. So George Washington in this case, it's another example. Here's a picture, here's his comment, things like that. Does that make sense? So this example is really helpful for you to see exactly what it is that is expected. So all of those links are right here in Canvas. So you are comfortable with Google Slides. You don't have to look at the slides with directions. That's just there to help you on how to edit that Google slideshow. Then here will be a link. I haven't put it out yet, but it will be in the next like 5 minutes. I just wanted to get the video done first. But here's where the link is where you will submit your project once you are done. Okay, so you need to do the 4 slides that are included already on the organizer. And then when you are done, if you want to do more for extra credit, you can. Now, the last group quickly found out those students who have not been doing their reading and been keeping up on their reading really struggled with this assignment because they didn't know anything about their character because they haven't read their book. Whereas the students that have been keeping up with their reading and have read their book, it was a piece of cake for them. It was no issue at all. So if you have not been keeping up with your reading, this is probably going to be a little more difficult. Whereas if you've been keeping up with your reading, hopefully this is a fun way to start analyzing your character a little bit differently than just doing a worksheet, all right? And then plus you have to put some thought into it. What pictures symbolize your character's actions and thoughts and reasoning for doing what they do and what they say. All right, so with that said,